Hey, everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to PHLY Flyers, presented by Mortgage CS. Check out mortgagecs.com/PHLY to start your home buying process today. Company NMLS ID number 1464766. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the afternoon. Joining me on Dan Hilferty's favorite Flyers show, F Around Friday, it is Philadelphia's #1 hockey beat reporter, Charlie O'Connor, and Broad Street Hockey's own Kelly Hinkle. What's going on today, fam?
How's it going, boys?
Oh, it's going. It's going. It's another beautiful F Around Friday. We welcome all of the Flyers brass who tune in religiously on for the show every week. We're going to do some wish list stuff today. We're going to talk a little bit more about Couturier because Kelly wasn't here yesterday. I want to start, though, with the Stanley Cup Final, which is all but over.
Close to over.
It's
done.
Is it as simple as Connor McDavid has no goals, the end? Like, that's what's going on here.
No, I think it's...
I mean, like, Florida's awesome, and it's not like Connor McDavid's choking so much as just, like, Florida's fucking good. But, like, the best player in the world, that team is built to be like, yeah, we kill you with two awesome guys. They're not killing them with two awesome guys, so Florida's up 3-0.
Well, it's because they're getting goalied. Like, that's... we talked about this 100 times this season. I had a revelation right here on this chair that nothing matters but goaltending.
It's all goalies.
It's just goalies. That's it. Nothing else matters. And here we are getting ready to have the season end way earlier than I think any of us wanted it to because Sergei Bobrovsky just decided that he doesn't let goals in anymore.
So listening to 32 thoughts on the way here. So we know, I mean, like, the trade was 100 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
But Bob already has the 2 Vezinas under his belt.
Yeah, he's good.
He's probably about to win a Conn Smythe. Hall of Fame.
I guess it depends.
You win 2 Vezinas at Conn Smythe, you go.
It really just depends on to what degree you view if you're like a small hall guy or a big hall guy. If you're a big hall guy, absolutely. I mean, he's got, but like, I'm of the opinion that, like, I know for a fact that Marc-Andre Fleury is going to make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I don't think he should because I don't think he is truly one of the best goalies of his generation, but he's going to make it. And if he's going to make it, then Bob should too.
Yeah, see, I believe in the Hall of Fame as a museum, as a way to tell a story. And I don't, like, Marc-Andre Fleury is a guy who's very important to this generation of hockey. Not even first, I just think, like, he's a dude that you like, he needs the recognition of that. And I think Bobrovsky isn't, but his on-ice accomplishments are going to be that of a Hall of Famer. Like, not many goalies win 2 Vezinas and a Conn Smythe.
The career on a whole, though, if you look at the whole thing, is that a Hall of Fame career?
For which one?
For Bob.
For Bob?
Because there was a lot of shit in there.
Yeah.
He is a very up and down guy.
There's a lot of shit for Marc-Andre Fleury too.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't put him in either.
So it really just depends again, like what if you are someone who views the Hall as like only for the best of the best, Bob is borderline. If you're someone who views it as like basically you have to be the elite, then I would say no. Like, I wouldn't consider Bob to be one of the 2 best goalies of his generation. But if you think it should just be open to mostly like the really, really good, not the holy shit good, then yeah, he's all fair.
Yeah.
I don't know how many goalies have won best in the league twice in the regular season and then playoff MVP. I bet it's a small list.
Probably.
Like, if that's not elite, I don't know what is. Like, Scott Van Pelt used to have a saying, how good is your good? If your good is literally the best, you're a Hall of Famer. Like, that's what he has proven his good to be.
The argument can be made.
Fair.
It's an argument.
But this, I'm fine. On one hand, I want the season to just be like, let's move on to off-season stuff.
Yeah.
Let's get the Stanley Cup. It's 3-0 now. But part of me is like, I want to see the best player in the world make a thing of this.
I will say,
like, get this to 6 games.
It would be nice. I think that seems impossible at this point. I mean, Edmonton looks defeated. Like, I just don't know that they even think that they can do it at this point.
So I'll freely admit I didn't watch a minute of last night's game. I was out.
It was a good game.
Out with the friends.
Ooh.
Doing friend things.
This guy.
But I obviously checked the score and it was like, oh, it's a blowout. And then when got back home, it
They
was
tried.
like, oh, it wasn't a blowout.
Yeah.
They came back and made it a game.
Yeah, they did. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like you're just not beating him now. And it's just, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like you said, Florida's a very good team. They're playing a very good team defense. Their forechecking is ridiculous. They're a good hockey team. But, like, Bob's winning them this cup. Like,
and that's what happens.
That's what
That
happens.
is hockey. And the thing is, like, it's not even just that. Like, I do not think Sergei Bobrovsky was the best goalie in the league this year.
No.
I don't think he was the second best goalie in the league this year. But
His backup put up better stats
He's
than him.
clearly a good goalie
who
who is on a great run right now. And that's what you need to win in the playoffs.
Yes.
You don't need to have the best goalie, but you need to have a goalie who is capable of going on a run for like 2-3 weeks. And they have that right now.
It's why, like, of all the series, I wouldn't say Bob's been good throughout the playoffs. He's been very, very good. It seems like, oh yeah, you need your goalie to steal you a series. Shit, it's the final.
Yeah, he's stealing you this
it's again
one.
against like McDavid and Draisaitl, and that's something. I don't know.
I think Florida would be winning this series if Bob wasn't going crazy.
Probably.
I just think it wouldn't be 3-0.
I think
It
it would
wouldn't be
probably be
over.
2-2.
Yeah, or
Like-
2-1, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, duh. Yeah.
But yeah, like I just think it would. I think Edmonton probably would have won
Game
one
Yeah.
at least.
They
And
would've.
I didn't watch last night's game, so I can't speak to whether I think they would have won that game. If
I mean,
Bob
they
wasn't
could have.
Bob. It would have been a toss-up, you think?
Yeah. They got real close to coming back. So
Mm.
if Bob doesn't make some stops, then they're right there.
It's like I just don't want to sweep. I feel like
sweeps are
that's
annoying.
that just
Unless
like,
it's your team doing the sweeping, obviously.
yeah. I mean, yeah, good for
Yeah.
Florida fans.
Right.
It will be fun. These Florida fans, if they win it in Edmonton, I always feel like that's.
I hate
like,
when they win on the road.
It's just such a, especially for a fan like you've never had one. It's this fan base that like I don't know. I feel like man, that could be such a moment for you. Like the rats on the
They should
everything.
throw it. Yeah, they
And
should
it's like-
throw the next game.
It's like
Get it home. Win it home.
I feel like the Phantoms did that in '98.
You
Like
think so?
they put Bush in for like game 4 on the road and came back home, or maybe it was games, whatever it was. But yeah, maybe get someone in there, get Stoli a start.
And in fairness, like I think there's a good chance Edmonton does win Game 4.
You would think.
Because
I hope so.
with someone like McDavid, I don't even think this is necessarily fair. But when you are the best player in the world, or spoken of as the best player in the world, you have more expectations on you, and you get treated worse if you perceive to come up small.
Yeah.
And I feel like at this point, they're almost certainly going to lose a series. Like, even if they win a couple games, chances of them winning 4 straight against this Florida team, highly unlikely. But it doesn't look as bad 2-3 years down the line if the McDavid Edmonton team loses in 5 or loses in 6.
Yes.
If they got swept in
Not
their
good.
first opportunity to be in a cup final, then suddenly that's brought up every single time you talk about Connor McDavid by the people who are, of the belief that all that matters is the playoffs and nothing else.
Yeah, and not only swept, but swept with like him being kind of a non-factor almost. Like he's not really
like if
winning,
they're
he's
losing
not
every
doing
game
anything.
4-3 on a 3-point night from McDavid,
Right.
and it's like,
I mean, he had
what are you
he
going
had
to
two
do?
assists last night.
Yeah.
Like 25 minutes of ice time. I
Yeah,
mean,
he's playing.
he's helping to produce goals.
I mean, I would expect Connor McDavid to do more things.
It's like that Western Conference champions banner that will be up. It will just feel so empty. And when you're as great as McDavid, when you're literally thought of as the best, like the goalposts get moved.
They do.
It's like,
Yeah.
well,
They absolutely
he's never even been to a cup final, and now he's in one. It's like he's never even won a game in the cup final.
exactly.
You know, it's like he never went. Because they didn't win a single game. It's like, well, who cares that they won the West in like a year where the West was fucking awesome?
Yeah.
Like they beat a Dallas team that was as good as this Florida team.
It's
like,
wild they got past Dallas. Like looking at this
Yeah.
series, it's wild that they got past Dallas.
Yeah,
Well,
and
and
it's just-
but part of the reason why they did was the same thing they're running into now: goaltending.
Yeah.
Stuart Skinner stole them Game 6. If
That's
that goes
true.
7, I mean, that goes 7. They go back to Dallas. Who knows what
Yeah.
happens?
I will say I am very thankful that Edmonton reminded all of us how much Our Lady Peace slaps.
Our Lady Peace.
Yeah.
I saw that. And I was like, oh my
Wow.
God, remember them?
Yeah, I listened to like a whole bunch of Our Lady Peace in the car today, and I was like, all of these songs are so good. I forgot how much. Yeah, so thank you for that.
Well, there
Edmonton.
you go. At least they did something here.
Uh-huh.
Before we get to Couture, I see we have a super chat.
Hey.
Dylan Phillips, he just says, happy fuck around Friday, gang. Yeah, that's in case Dan Hilferty still wanted to know what the F stand is for.
Hi, Dan.
That's maybe my favorite moment.
It's the greatest thing that's ever happened to the two of you in your lives. I'm sorry to break it to you, but that's
The dumbest thing I've ever come like. You know what I don't like doing? Working on Fridays.
Yeah.
So we're gonna call it F around Friday. And
Genius.
the CEO of Comcast Spectacor asked Charlie about it, and like something he has nothing to do with.
Yeah.
Like
That was all your idea.
I don't know, man. I just show up. I'm doing the real stuff here. I'm doing the journalizing. That's a verb,
Love
right?
to journalize.
Sure.
All right,
Let's go with that.
So, Kelly, you weren't here yesterday when we spoke about Sean Couturier. He appeared on the Nasty Knuckles pod earlier this week and revealed he had the Flyers injury.
Oops.
He has the sports hernia, core muscle. He had a lower ab surgery, whatever the hell you want to call it. The thing that plagues this team like nothing else. I know maybe it happens to everyone.
I think it happens
I
to
don't believe
basically
it.
every team.
No, see,
It seems to happen to us a lot.
I was with you. As soon as I saw the news,
like,
the
of
first thing
course
I
he
thought
did.
was, another one? How is
Another one.
everyone hurting their midsection on this hockey team? What is happening? Do we not do any core training in the offseason? Are we only doing leg day? Like, I don't understand what's happening. Why so many nipples to knees injuries on this hockey team?
Because it's hockey.
It needs to
and
stop.
that's a normal injury in hockey.
I don't believe it happens to anybody else, Charles. It only happens to us.
It seems to happen to the Flyers in
A
inordinate
lot.
amount.
It feels like every
To
injury.
their absolute best players all the time.
Every injury that gets reported is a core muscle injury. There are so many muscles, but these are the only ones that they hurt.
This it gets me back to like an old. I think John Kruk used to talk about this. This is why they didn't work out back in the day. You can't pull muscles you don't have.
Exactly.
That's
They were
why
on
I'm
to
never
something.
injured. You know.
Yeah, you think Bob Clark was lifting in the offseason? He was busy
So what?
on
Just
the lake.
what was your Kelly? I kind of took away from this. Like while this stinks, he didn't seem to be like in tremendous distress doing this interview. He's rehabbing already.
He looked fine.
He looks fine.
Apparently, it's the same deal with Drysdale, where they both had something to do with some type of procedure to fix something in that core area. But with both, it seems like they are close to 100% now. And at this point, they will both be able to essentially have a normal summer.
So what was your, like, I think we both kind of took away from it, like, I don't know, this sucks, but I'm happy to have an answer and it's not his back.
I had the exact same reaction that Charlie did, where I was like, oh, okay, good. Like, now we know why you suck.
At least
in the back
it's an
half of the
injury and it's
season.
not like, okay, he's bad now.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that was my thought. Like, are injuries good? No. Is it nice to have a reason why a player that you really want to be good was really bad for some length of time? Yes, that's good. It's good we have a reason. Now that that's fixed, hopefully we see something closer to first half Sean Couturier than second half Sean Couturier, and that's what we need. So in my mind, it was like kind of a relieving bit of news to hear that there was actually something going on with him, not just he's cooked or he can't play
like
this many minutes or he's tired, he's exhausted. Like all of these things are not really fixable.
82 game schedule is just too many for
much
him
for
at his
him.
age,
Yeah.
given
Yeah,
the
yeah.
wear
That
and
would be
tear.
bad.
Like, that would be bad. He
Nah, this
signed
is-
for a
this is
long,
better.
long time.
Yeah.
We have another super chat here
Oh.
from Gary B, or is that just the same one? Okay, there we go. Hey, Bill, Charlie, Kelly. If somehow Ivan Demidov somehow falls to like 9th pick, does Danny B pick up the phone?
I mean, I'm sure you check.
I would assume
You at least check.
when he starts falling, everyone,
Yeah, everybody's
Everyone's
checking.
especially if you have 2 firsts,
Yeah.
like or a certain number of assets, like everyone's picking up the phone in that situation.
I do want to make the statement that I will probably say on the show and on Twitter and in articles probably about 20 times from now towards the draft.
Oh no.
Top 10 picks never get
You
traded.
say that, but New Jersey's out here telling everybody they're trying to trade the 10th
And I bet they
overall.
won't actually
because
trade
they
him.
want UC Saros.
They want a goalie.
Yes, if they can get a Vezina quality goaltender, they will trade number 9.
There's a lot of
But-
goalies on the
Or
market.
just-
whatever they,
I-
is that
I
what
just-
they have? 9,
I-
10? 10.
I just feel like this is, and I am part of the media, so I am very much part to blame for this.
Good
I
job,
believe
Charlie.
that it is like we in the media do this. We are loosey with the football. Every year in the 3 weeks leading up to the draft is, ooh, that team that's at 7, they might trade it. That team at 9, that team at 5. And then every fan that is of the online variety convinces themselves that all of these trades are going to happen in the top 10. And then when we get to pick number 12 and there hasn't been a trade, everybody's like, man, this draft is so boring. Why do they do any trades? Because they never do.
It's a great question.
Because everyone makes their pick because GMs, really, this is the core thing. Number one, GMs and their front offices fall in love with a guy. And it's like, okay, I want my guy. I'm not going to trade this pick. I'm not going to pass up on the opportunity to get my guy unless you give me an insane overpay. And basically no one ever really does. Number two, and this is an underrated thing that I've heard from a few people in the game, GMs like to keep their scouts happy. And the thing is like, if you trade away the 9th overall pick that your scouting department spent the entire year doing all this work, and it's like, well, sorry, our first pick is going to be at 50.
Well, it could be at 12. No, it's not that much further.
No.
Your work is still valuable.
I do not. If New Jersey trades away the 10th overall pick, it's not going to be to move down 2 slots. It's going to be for a player.
Oh, no, I don't mean that.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying like 9. If we gave up 12 and 32, 30, how many teams are there now?
It's going to be 32 in all
32?
likelihood. Yes.
Yeah, if we give up 12 and 32, then you give us 9.
It's a pick we acquired 2 years ago, and somehow like we get it in the year that they win the cup. This is goddamn ridiculous. It's the most Flyers shit ever again. The other thing I thought you were going to say, Charlie, just about like making the pick, it's that like this is why I called the process, which was the right thing to do for the Sixers, but like a great Ponzi scheme. Hope keeps you alive in your job. Hope keeps you employed. Like my plan is 3 fucking years from now. So you have to keep me employed for at least 5 years, like, to see how this thing's going to play out. When you start trading the 9th overall pick for a guy right now, it's like, well, we better win something or you fucked up.
I guess, like, and to be clear, I love the NHL draft. I think it's a lot of fun. I enjoy learning about the prospects. I enjoy coming to opinions as to who I like more, the strengths, the weaknesses of all the guys. But one of the things I do legitimately not like about the draft, and again, this is all influenced by the discourse I see online, which is pretty much the thing I dislike the most about everything about the NHL, is it gets tiring that every year fans convince themselves the top 10 picks are going to get traded. Because, look, you can never rule it out entirely. It's always theoretically possible. But you have to go into each draft if you want to go in like a world of reality. That almost certainly all the teams in the top 10 are going to keep their picks. Because that's just what they do. Especially it's what they do in the post-salary cap world.
I will.
The picks got traded more pre-salary cap.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, like, not that the Flyers ever picked in the top 10, but like, how many first-round picks did they even make? Yeah. Like Steve Downey
didn't need to. They were just buying shit left and right.
Steve Downey, Simone Gagne, and that's it.
Luca's Pizza.
Picks were for losers back then. Yeah. We didn't need picks.
No picks.
No. And like I will say,
they did take Yoni Pickett with the 4th overall pick.
They did. They traded up for that one.
They sure did.
Look, they've done it before.
Trades happen. Before the salary cap.
No, but I will say, like, I do think this year, and maybe this happens every year and just blinders because it just happened, like, there are certain teams that need stuff for, like, yes, the Jersey Devils suck this year. Also, they should be a lot closer to contending for the cup than they should be picking in the top 10.
100.
So, like, we don't need a guy 3 years from now. No. We need a dude now because this is when we have this core. Like,
that's actually
there
a really
are
good
these
point.
teams that are kind of in this situation that should be taking another step.
Well, that's a good point because this is an interesting one because this 10th overall pick, like New Jersey should not be there.
Yeah.
Like this isn't a rebuilding franchise.
Like
they
Dan Hilferty
good.
And Keith Jones just said it. They were like, yeah, the Devils are going to be better next year, right?
Yeah, they absolutely should be. Yeah. We talked about it when Bill was out. They are going to be a problem for a long time. This is a very well-built, good hockey team that needs a goalie desperately. So, like, if there's any time to trade the 10th overall pick, this is the time.
I disagree. And I think this is the thinking that the GM will ultimately have is that if you want to have a sustainable cup contender.
Yeah.
You need guys coming in on entry-level deals. And to have the opportunity in 2 years to have Beckett Seneca or Consta Hellenius or Carter Yakimchuk on an entry-level contract and have him jump in to a team like the Devils that presumably then will already be a cup contender, that allows you to keep it going longer than you would otherwise, rather than always look at it as, well, we need to win now because that's fun.
How are you getting a goalie, though?
I don't know. I don't know, but I don't think it necessarily has to be by trading 10.
I guess.
I think, like, even if you make that pick, that guy gets traded eventually anyway because you need something.
Well, yeah.
Like, you're always going to need something. And, yeah, we're going to have a rookie. Like, yeah, Carter Yakimchuk, I want him. Like, oh, yeah, like, we're fighting for a division. We're fighting for a President's Trophy, home ice, whatever it is. And we're going to have a rookie playing 15 minutes.
Well,
that doesn't interest me.
But look at Dallas. One of the reasons why Dallas's whole thing is working is because they currently have Wyatt Johnston and Logan Stankoven on entry level deals.
Yeah, what if they won?
But they didn't need a big ass chunky piece of something to make the whole thing work.
No, but it helps.
Well, yeah, of course.
That's the thing. Like,
if you can have both.
Dallas had to luck into, not luck, because obviously they made good picks, but they had to luck into getting those guys, those in the late first round, in the early second. The Devils have the opportunity to get one of those guys at 10 and have a much higher likelihood of them becoming those guys. And then that allows you to paper over some of your mistakes that you might have made in terms of, like, if Timo Meier is only a $7 million a year player rather than the $9 million a year player, if Andre Palat is a little bit overpaid at the end of his deal, then you have a guy on a $900,000 contract who gives you a ton of surplus value, who jumps in and can be the middle of the lineup spark plug Wyatt Johnson type on a team that already is real good.
But
I think that's a very attractive thing for the Devils.
Or Ullmark. Like, I will take Ullmark.
I mean, I think paying
I'm not
the
saying
10th
like I'm not saying the 10th is going to get you all. I'm just saying, like, or Markstrom or Saros. Like, there's a lot of goalies.
I'm just saying I don't think these picks are going to get traded.
It's probably
but I don't think they're going to get traded.
I don't think it's likely. Like, I don't think if I had to put all my money on it, I'm like, oh yeah, Devils are trading that. I just think that there are teams, the Devils chief among them, because they've actually had the playoff success before. Like, I think Buffalo and Ottawa are in similar positions, but it's like, well, what do we really have? We still kind of stink. But the Devils are in a position where you could justify it.
Right.
Whereas another team, like Anaheim, needs to make their fucking pick. You know? I think that's the difference, where a team looking to turn the corner or take another step can justify, yeah, man, if we get an established goalie, like, we're probably in the conference final. Yeah. Like, that's... I just think it's more justifiable, therefore more likely, but still not likely.
I'm just... the plea here, again, if top 10 picks get traded, that's super exciting, but do not expect it, because it doesn't usually happen.
I got to do this read, and it's the first time we've done it, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's one of our newest partners here.
Who we got?
It's one of our newest partners here at PHLY, and I am a longtime user of their products, so I am very excited to announce, ladies and gentlemen, my pleasure to announce that Smooth Sack Summer is officially upon us.
Oh my God.
Oh wait, are you guys? Oh fuck! When you guys have made it. Oh my God.
When you're playing in the summer sun, make sure you're groomed. Oh my God, I didn't read this beforehand. When you're playing in the summer sun, make sure you're groomed from pubes to bum. Thanks to our friends at Manscaped, you can make this season your smoothest yet. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is the ultimate bundle to keep your boys downstairs cool while looking hot. Join the 10 million men worldwide who trusted Manscaped with our exclusive offer. Get 20% off plus free shipping when you go to manscaped.com and use code FLYERS. That's manscaped.com, code FLYERS. Summertime, and the trimming is easy. Listen,
it's the greatest thing that's ever happened.
We know, man. It's, especially up here in the Northeast, it's sticky. It's warm. The humidity is kicking in. And I know we all love to hit no shower happy hour. But just because you haven't showered doesn't mean it needs to be a jungle down there. That's all I'm saying. Nobody wants all that. And honestly, you know, you trim it up a bit. You're adding like an inch and a half, just visually.
Oh my God.
So make sure you check out manscaped.com, use code FLYERS, and you can clean it up down there, boys. I'm just telling you, it works for me. I bet it will work for you. Make sure you use our promo code FLYERS.
Promo code FLYERS.
This thing is waterproof. You can use it in the shower. All sorts of other products as well, whether it's foot deodorant, ball deodorant, anything you need. So get 20% off plus free shipping with the code FLYERS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code FLYERS at manscaped.com. It's Smooth Sack Summer, boys. Get on board or get left behind.
Yeah, when you think Manscaped, think Flyers.
You really should. I mean, look at these guys. They're well groomed.
Well, I mean,
the Flyer. Listen, ain't no playoff beards on this team. Ain't no playoff beards on this team. Stanley Cup Final almost over. You got to get rid of that playoff beard, whether it's upstairs or down. Manscaped.com, promo code FLYERS.
I thought Kelly was going to fall out of the chair.
I almost died.
I saw we had Manscaped today, and I knew Kelly was in. I was like, she's going to enjoy this more than me. So
I did.
It is F Around Friday. And
we're doing it.
We're gonna so make sure you clean it up.
It was the perfect day for that ad read.
Truly was. I want to get to our off-season wish lists on today's show. It's what are we, like 15 days away? Oh no, that's Christmas in July. Never mind. And it would be like 11, not 15.
Right.
Anyway, it's coming up. July 1st is obviously the beginning of free agency. Stanley Cup Final is going to be over soon. Teams will be like, okay, we can make trades again. We're allowed.
Yeah.
Gary has given us the go-ahead to improve our teams. And the draft is in 2 weeks. Make sure you're at our draft party on the 28th. So I want to talk about our off-season wish lists, and we are going to start with the first thing. It is the draft. Now, we've all kind of beating around the bush. That's what I was going to say.
Oh, no.
We
keep them coming, Bill.
Oh, no.
We've all talked about kind of what we're looking for in the upcoming draft, but the first category of the wish list I want to check off is what everyone hopes Danny Briere accomplishes at this year's draft, June 28th and 29th, from the Sphere in good old Las Vegas.
Vegas, baby.
Charlie, let's start with you because you're going to be, you've done the research on these players. You probably actually know who you want. Sell us on who you want at pick 12 or anything else.
I guess what's tough about this question is like
how the board falls.
Yeah, it's all about how the board falls. Like if I'm going through my rankings, like Demidov would be my number one choice. I do not think he's going to be there at 12. My number two choice would be Zeev Buium. I think it's slightly possible he could be there at 12, but I'm not expecting it. I'm thinking he's going to be a top 10 pick. So like, I guess my answer is Berkeley Catton because he's the guy who I like the most that I think has like above a 40% chance of being there. But if both him and Buium are there, I'm picking Buium. So like, it's a weird question. I guess my answer is Catton because I think he's the best combination of might actually be there, and I really would like the Flyers to take him. But there are scenarios where I would pass up on Berkeley Catton if a one or two other guys are available too.
But in the most reasonable of like it's reasonable to believe that Berkeley Catton could be there at 12. Right. Whereas like, yeah, everyone wants Buium. He might go 7.
Yeah,
he might go 4.
Yeah,
like, who the hell knows? This draft is weird because obviously, there's guys more likely to go 2, but 2 to 15 seem like it could be anyone.
Yeah, and like
who the hell
now
knows?
you're hearing these rumors that like, well, Demidov might slip, and it's like he might. I think it's unlikely he slips all the way to 12. But like, obviously, if he's there at 12, Danny run up to the podium and take the guy.
Yeah, so I think Berkeley Catton is the most likely guy to be available that we actually like have talked about in depth on this show.
Right. I would say the guys like that, and it even seems like Jakob Chychrun is like the scuttlebutt is that he's not going to slip out of the top 10. Now we shall see, but it does seem like there's some momentum around the idea of some of the teams in the top 10 that want defensemen want size. And
of course,
that could make someone like Buium slip. It certainly could make someone like Zane Parekh slip, who's on the smaller side. So Yakimchuk might not be there. And if he's not there, then what does that do to the rest of the board? But like the people we've probably talked about the most in terms of like, hey, they might actually be there. Catton, Yakimchuk, Constantinius. And then I guess, because I'm fully expecting this guy to be there, Cole Iserman. If you want the team to take a goal scorer, a pure goal scorer.
Which I think many people do.
Cole
Iserman is like we've said, he's the guy everyone's most familiar with because we've known his name, other than Celebrini, who has 0% chance of slipping to 2. Like the guy we know the best.
Yeah.
Kelly, who is on your draft wish list?
So after listening to Charlie's conversation with Alex Appleyard, I'm fully on board the Catton train.
Okay.
Just because I have, like, Alex is someone that I followed on Twitter for what feels like 1,000 years. And he's obviously incredibly smart when it comes to hockey evaluation. And he pays so much attention to these kids in a way that I am never going to. And the way that he was talking about Berkeley Catton, I was like, oh, he really likes this kid. And if he really likes this kid, that tells me that there's probably something pretty good there. And so I'm just going to throw my hat in on the Berkeley Catton train.
Berkeley Catton train.
Yeah.
Bill, are you still on Yakimchuk or bust?
Listen, I don't have the knowledge. Like, I'm not going to do the homework that you do. I'll read the draft guide. I'll figure this out. I'll listen to people. I'm not going to talk to anyone. And I hate talking to people. I talk to you, but like, that's really just me talking to myself. Like, you know, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be some sort of draft expert. Oh, I know this prospect is going to do this. And I don't know. Carter Yakimchuk might not be able to skate with his head up and get laid out every time like fucking Eric Lindros. Like, I don't know.
Too
like,
soon.
Who's to say? Yeah, I don't know. But Yakimchuk,
like 20 years ago.
Carter Yakimchuk seems like a dude I really want. Berkeley Catton. I mean, this seems to fill a hole that this team is going to continue to have. I have come around on Constantinius. I like him a lot. So I have one request from Danny Briere.
Mm-hmm.
Just one thing I want. And it's 2 things.
Oh.
I want 2 top 15 picks. That's it. Take 2 bites at this apple. Whether you get that 11 pick from Buffalo, whether you get into the top 10, whether you jump back in after you make a pick at 12 and go, you know what? There are 1 or 2 guys still who we have rated higher than they've fallen. Use 32 and Scott Lawton and whatever the fuck else it takes and get a second top 15 pick on this team because we desperately need talent. So my answer is simple. 2 top 15 picks.
Sure.
I mean, that'd be fun.
Also, I would like to say it is okay, because I'm sure that you guys all listen to a lot of people talking about the draft. And I can tell you that most people aren't sitting down and watching hours and hours and hours of tape on these kids and forming their own opinions. It's okay to listen to the opinions of people that you trust, that you know are doing the research, like Appleyard, like Chris Johnson, like Charles O'Connor. It's okay. Like, it doesn't make you less than to take all of the opinions of people that you trust and then form your own opinion based on that and not firsthand experience watching a bunch of kids in the WHL. No one's doing that.
Yeah. And I mean, I've done research. Like
Charlie has, because it's his job.
But like, that's the thing too. Like, I've broken down the numbers. I've watched tape.
Right.
I have watched nowhere near as much tape as, you know, as Alex, but I'm even like compared to the like Corey and Chris Peters and Scott Wheeler and Craig Button, like they go on the road and watch these guys in person and talk to them. Right. And then they're watching tape of the games they don't see in person. Like, I think I know these prospects pretty well. That's why I'm talking about them so much on the show. That's why I'm doing the prospect preview videos. But I don't know them nearly as well as the true experts who, like, this is their full-time job.
Right, exactly.
So take that into consideration, too.
And also, the guys whose full-time job it actually is, who get paid to be right, the scouts in the NHL, they're fucking wrong all the time.
This is true.
They're wrong all the time. That's why I kind of am like, I don't know, man. I'd rather be like entertaining doing a Manscaped read. I'll put my efforts into doing that.
None of this is science.
Yeah, like, it's teenagers. That's a special, like, especially compared to like the NFL draft, where a dude, you're gonna take him. He's had 2, 3, 4 years of college.
Yeah.
He's a man already.
Yeah.
These are high school seniors.
Children.
Like this is like an overager is like
19.
a freshman in college.
Yeah, he's like 19.
Who's a dumb shit. Like I was stupid as hell until like 28. You know,
Oh, these
we
guys
have
are
no
extra
idea
dumb,
what
too.
these kids are gonna be. It's
Yeah.
really hard. So I love the draft. It's fun.
It's fun.
But like, you know what I want? Darts. I want Danny to have the darts,
Yeah,
and that's
lots
why
of
my
darts.
wish list is 2 top 15 picks. That seems
like
like the
that.
best way to get one of these right is to have 2 tries at it.
Okay.
So listen, this team, this time of year especially, man, where it's driving us nuts. We're going to go crazy about, we want this player in the draft. They need to make this trade. They need to get rid of this guy. We need to choose to chill sometimes.
Got
Sometimes
to.
we have to take a step back and chill. And it's hard to do. Listen, I'm yelling right now. It's 100 degrees in here. I have to sometimes take a step back and chill. And I need to celebrate when I make that decision because it's hard to do. And the best way to celebrate that is with an ice cold Coors Light. So whether you're freaking out about, oh man, they need Berkeley Catton or else it's over. Fire Briere right now. If they don't trade into the top 10, it's over. You need to find the Blue Mountains in your fridge and enjoy a beer as cold as the Rockies because it's draft season, man. Relax. You just got to chill. Make the most out of the times you chose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/PHLY Hockey. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. All right, we move on in the wish list to potential free agent signings. And for me, this was the trickiest category because, like, all the good players don't make sense.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, let's go get Jonathan Marchessault so he can spend the end of his career on a rebuilding team. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. So where can we go from here in terms of free agents? Like, okay, maybe there's some depth guys, but don't we have enough depth guys? That's kind of like what the whole team is made of
Pretty much.
already.
Yep.
Like, so the free agent category is a little tricky. So I want to know where you're going with it. Let's start with Kelly.
Okay. So, like, the real answer for me is I don't want them to sign any free agents this summer. But the way that I approached this question, just to make it a little bit more interesting, was if I knew the Flyers were definitely going to sign a free agent, they were going to go out there with the checkbook and they were going to get a dude.
Mm-hmm.
I would pick, is he an Elias or an Elias? Lindholm is who
He's
I would
Elias.
pick. Elias.
Yeah, Elias Lindholm. Yes.
Lindholm is who I would pick because he's on the younger end of free agent age-wise. Like, he's not yet 30, I don't think.
No, he's not.
I
there.
believe he's 28, 29.
And he's a center. And what do the Flyers need more than anything else on this earth? A center. So if the real answer is don't sign anybody, like, I don't want you to sign anybody. But if you're going to go get a top free agent, get Lindholm, because I think that he makes the most sense for what this roster needs.
I think where I'm at, Kelly, you more or less stole mine in the sense of it being no one.
Oh, dang.
But I will say that my real answer is no one at the moment, but keep an eye on who gets bought out and who doesn't get qualifying offers. Because those are the kinds of players that, in my mind, the Flyers should be looking at. Potential reclamation projects, Ryan Poehling types who you might be able to get for cheap, but they're still young enough to very much fit your timeline in theory. Like, that's the kind of shopping I would like the Flyers to do, because signing 29-year-olds to 6-year contracts that aren't high-end players doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. And I don't really want to be blocking more of the young players that need jobs by getting, like, Garnet Hathaway was great. And if they can get another Garnet Hathaway type who's a lot of fun to watch, it makes our jobs a little bit more enjoyable because he's a legitimately entertaining, good hockey player. Sure. I won't hate it. But I don't think they need to.
No.
No, they definitely don't need any free agents. Like, I feel as if we have guys in the minors, guys who are fighting for ice time already. Why create more of a logjam than there already is in the middle of this lineup? I did think a few months ago that this team would be best served using a roster spot on a third goalie. Adding a vet to the mix who can maybe carry the load in case of an injury or a slump, and we don't get in a situation where it's like, yeah, man, Fedotov doesn't really have it, and now we need Ersson to play, 18 out of 22 or whatever the hell it was, and then he just ends up sucking for a month because he hasn't had a day off. Now, I know we've kind of debunked the Kolosov stuff, but I don't need to further block him. So I'm kind of out on the 3 goalie situation. So I want to talk about a 27-year-old defenseman, 6'6", 220 pounds, a right shot. He's played in his career. He's had seasons where he's averaged over 18 minutes a game, but just can't quite figure it out how to stick. I think we have the right man behind the bench in Brad Shaw to finally get this guy to his potential. His name, Phil Myers.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Oh, baby.
Yes.
That's spicy.
That's right.
That is spicy.
Bring back Phil Myers. Bring back the prodigal son. Listen, I don't know. The free agent thing was a very, very sticky situation. I don't know who exactly fits this thing, and they have defensemen either on the way or in the organization already who badly need this ice time. But it was not long ago we thought this dude was a legitimate top 4 defenseman.
I dig it. Because, I mean, and you could just...
If anyone can fix him, it's Brad Shaw.
You could just send him down to the minors.
Yeah.
That's what they've been doing the last couple teams he's been on.
He played...
I don't hate it.
He
won't cost much.
He
Probably
played
learn a
5 games
lesson.
in the NHL last year. Since he's left Philly, he's played like 35 NHL games. Like, he's not going to cost anything. I don't see a reason not to bring back Phil Myers. So
Isn't
he's my
Ghost a
answer.
free agent too?
What's that?
Ghost is
free.
Ghost is also...
That's better. Do that one.
Ghost requires ice time. The only reason I would bring in Ghost is to trade him at the deadline.
The power play.
I mean...
I don't think Ghost is fixing the power play.
We might get a...
It might help a little bit.
He might go...
He might get him to
from,
15%.
I was going to say, they might go from the worst to maybe like bottom third.
They had to go pretty far just to get up to the
I
other
know.
really bad teams.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, to be like 20th, they needed like a 15% improvement. But no, it's tough. So my answer for free agent is Phil Myers, because if anyone can fix him, it's Brad Shaw. Just someone I want to throw out there, though. Eric Robinson. Eric Robinson,
He's a local kid,
hometown
right?
kid.
Yeah, local kid.
He's bounced around a little. He was pretty good for a time in Columbus. He can fly. He's 29 now.
Did you
Why not?
play hockey with him growing up?
No, I'm way too old to have played with him. No, but kids who were younger on my team were mutual friends with the Robinson brothers.
Got it. Okay.
Buddy, he's in the KHL whooping people's asses. He's like 32, 33 now.
I love this for
But
him.
Eric Robinson, 29, he can fly. He could be like another Paling. But my answer for free agent is Phil Myers. Now we get to trade additions. Trade additions, that's right. A guy we would like to see the Flyers bring in with a trade. You know what? I'll go first this time. That's how we've been doing it.
What the hell?
It's not even like, I don't think it's a huge need to add, again, much like free agent. I don't think it's a huge, okay, we need to go get this, unless Michkov is coming over. If we know right now, they're not going to tell us till they tell us at the end of June when St. Petersburg SKA has made their decision.
Right.
Like, until they say it formally, the Flyers ain't going to tell us. They shouldn't. They won't. If they know now, though, I want them trying to get somebody who can match his skill and creativity, grow alongside of him. Also, I just want to see it, Trevor Zegras. I want the goddamn talk to end more than like, we need to do this and this to get Zegras. I just want to see what the trade would be, and I want it done and over with. So bring me Trevor Zegras. How much fun would it be to have a right wing and a center who are both like, I'm trying the Michigan this shift. No, I'm fucking trying. Like, you have both of them behind the net. You don't know what the hell is going to happen. Trevor Zegras, I bet this is someone else is on the panel as well.
It's mine, so I'll go next. It's Zegras because, again, like, I was approaching this as like, who's realistically available.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I would trade for a number of incredibly good hockey players, but none of them are available. So, again, need a center, young guy, bit of a reclamation project. Besties with Cam York. That's fun for everybody.
And Jamie Drysdale.
Yeah, good. Zegras is the one. If we're going to make a trade, a big flashy hockey trade, that's the one I would like to see them do.
I mean, Zegras is probably the most obvious. I'll just go more general. I'll say like a young player with 1C potential. Zegras obviously fits that bill, but like for me, it's less that my interest in Zegras is less because like I am in love with Trevor Zegras as a player, that I'm like, oh my God, they need to get Trevor Zegras. Like he has to be the guy. I just want a talented young 1C.
Yes.
If they can get someone else who is a talented young 1C who is not named Trevor Zegras, I'm cool with that too. I'm not wedded to Trevor Zegras. It's just that he is that. He could be that, and he is plausibly available. So he's an obvious answer. But like really anybody who's 25 and under with 1C potential, I'd be cool for them to try to trade for.
So my other one that I was kicking around in honor of Steph Driver, Jakob Chychrun. What do you guys think of Jakob Chychrun? I don't like him personally.
Yeah, you're not a huge Chychrun guy.
I can't really put a finger on why I don't like him, but
he comes up for me in a different category.
Oh boy.
Okay.
All right, we'll save it.
I am not anti Jakob Chychrun. My concern with Jakob Chychrun for this Flyers team is that I just think he is like, I think he is around the same talent level and like what I would expect results wise as like Travis Sanheim.
Yeah.
And Travis Sanheim's a good player. I really like Travis Sanheim.
But we need it better then.
But like, yeah, I don't know what the help would really be to get another Travis Sanheim. It's not addressing the key issue with this team is that they don't have that alpha 1D. And I don't think if Jakob Chychrun isn't that yet, he's not going to become that in his late 20s. I don't.
Why do people think Quentin Byfield is available?
I mean, because it's be real fun.
I mean, yeah, it would be fun, but like, there's no fucking way they're trading him.
Yeah, I mean, like he's like the pipe dream.
Okay,
he's a pipe dream.
I feel like they're gonna it's the other one.
Oh, Marco Rossi is a good one.
Yeah, like
Thomas.
that's the thing where
Marco Rossi is a good one.
I'm not wedded to Trevor Zegras. If they trade for Marco Rossi, I'd be cool with that too because
good.
he also fits the bill as someone who could plausibly be a 1C and is young, and there have at least been occasional rumors that he could be available.
We talked yesterday about like the torts of it all and how like you probably shouldn't be doing shit just because of torts, but it does seem as if he has like his opinion is very important in the shaping of this thing.
For some reason, yes.
But I want Zegras for the opposite reason. I want to see what happens when he tries the Michigan.
Yeah.
Like what happens? Like, does he get benched for scoring a goal? Like, is that what's going to happen here? I very badly just want to see that dynamic as this team gets younger and cockier and more skilled. How our lunatic head coach deals with that. Like, is that a good reason to get Trevor Zegras? Probably not. But as Charlie said, we are the media. We're part of the problem. And if they're not going to be good, I want them to be interesting.
Yeah.
One or the other, folks.
Not wrong.
One or the other.
Not wrong.
Where are we in terms of time here? Let me tell you about our friends at TrueMark Financial Credit Union. I've been telling you about TrueMark Financial for a few weeks now. And if you don't know the benefits of joining a credit union like TrueMark, let me just lay them out for you again, because when you join a credit union like TrueMark Financial, you become part owner, which means profits come back to you instead of going back to shareholders. You can also get better rates, lower fees, and a better return on savings with more flexible options, all while getting the same digital tools and tech you've come to expect from your banking partner. The thing that might set them apart the most from your, XYZ big bank, TrueMark has local roots. They're headquartered in Fort Washington with 24 branches in the Philly area. They serve our community and our people right here at home. Becoming a member of a credit union has so many benefits over being a customer at a bank. Almost seems like a no-brainer. So head over to TrueMark.com/PHLY to learn more or to find a branch near you. That's TrueMark.com/PHLY, federally insured by the NCUA. All right. This one, I mean, this might be the one with the most possibility here. Trade subtraction. Guys you just want to see go. And it could be for any number of reasons. Sure. Opening up a roster spot, you just personally dislike this player, whatever the reason might be, you think the return might be great, whatever it is, who do we want to see most subtracted from this team? Charlie O'Connor, the journalist who has to deal with these people every day. Yeah. Give us who you hate.
It's tough.
I know.
But it's tough because like the two guys who you could make a case would be like the dream. Like, if you could just excise a contract, like it might be Couturier and Sanheim, because it's like, do either of them really fit with the timeline? Sanheim probably fits it a little bit better. Couturier, there's serious concerns about how he's going to age. Maybe the surgery will help. maybe it's like, oh shit, now he's had 3 major surgeries in the last 3 years. Even if this isn't necessarily a major surgery, is there really any such thing as a minor surgery? It's still a surgery. So those might be like the easy ones, and I wouldn't begrudge anyone if they picked one of those guys. That said, they both have no trade protection, and I don't think it's feasible. So I'm going to go with Risto because it really doesn't seem like Risto fits anymore, and he's overpaid. And if they could find some way to trade him without retaining salary, without taking back a bad contract, that would be amazing.
It's Hunter McDonald's time, man.
Hunter McDonald's time.
Hinkle?
I mean, yeah, it's Risto. I just think also, like, in addition to everything that Charlie said about it, it would also kind of be like seeing this front office undo Chuck's biggest blunder would just be kind of like
Cathartic.
cleansing for the soul. Yeah. It would just feel good to be like, okay, Danny Briere just fixed the big fuck up that other idiot did. This is good.
It was so... Yeah, I think cathartic is the word I would use.
It is the word, yeah.
It was so cathartic when, and this was the good times of Chuck.
Yeah.
When Chuck came in, and after we spent 4 or 5 years screaming that Andrew McDonald stunk, he immediately bought him out. It was just like, you were right. You all were right.
Yes.
Ron Hextall was gaslighting the fan base for a half decade and trying to act like he was a top pair defenseman. No, you're right. He's bad, and he's gone.
Yeah.
It was just so validating.
It made me feel like you start like, am I the lunatic? Does no one else see this? It's like you're hallucinating.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'm on drugs, and like maybe, but like I don't think that's coloring my opinion of fucking Andrew McDonald. And it was finally like, oh my god. So obviously, I think 2/3 of the fan base, their answer to this question is Rasmus Ristolainen.
Yeah.
I would also like to see that. If they could get out from one of these other contracts, like Sean Couturier, even though I like him and would like to see him prosper here, if we're gambling on it, it's like, yeah, probably not.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
That's just an objective reality.
Yeah. Hopefully.
It could work out, and
Sure.
we're all hoping it does, but the fact of the matter is the guy's signed through the end of the decade and longer.
And he's not playing now.
Yeah.
Or particularly well,
it's concerning.
at least.
It's a concerning
but
contract.
I have a little bit different of an answer, and it's Scott Lawton.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering if somebody would pick
I
him.
very much like Scott Lawton. I appreciate his contributions to this team, and I value what he brings in terms of leadership, culture, all that stuff. At a certain point, though, like if Scott Lawton is the glue that holds this fucking thing together, we don't have culture. Like being able to subtract somebody and there still being a good leadership core, and guys like Owen Tippett can step up and become that dude. Guys like Cam York can take on more responsibility in the locker room. That's how you really build the culture. I would like to be able to move on from Scott Lawton and see if we actually have built something over these last 2 years, or if it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, no, it's just kind of Torch yelling at everyone and that kind of, yeah. Like, that's the culture. It's Torch gets pissed and yells at everybody. Like, I want to know if that's the case here. And also, at a certain point, Scott Lawton's not going to be good, and I want to cash in.
That's fair.
He's worth something right now,
Yes.
whether that's a first-round pick, whether it's a younger version of him,
Maybe.
whether it's a second. I don't know. He's worth something. In a couple of years, he might be worth nothing. I want to get something for Scott Lawton because I've been watching him a long time. I like him. He ain't winning or losing us any games. And as he ages, I can't imagine he starts winning us more games. Let's get something for Scott Lawton. I would like to see the locker room turn over. I would like to see that roster spot opened up. My trade subtraction is Scotty Lotz.
Okay.
All right, what do we have
okay.
next? It is the pipe dream move. The thing that probably ain't going to happen, but if we could...
Yeah, my pipe dream involves like 17.
No, it's I was
David.
Yeah.
I was thinking you were going
A lot
to
of chess
go...
moves.
maybe it's yours here, so I don't want to give it away. Is it my turn to go first?
Yeah,
Who's
you
up
go.
here? I have talked about this several times. Whether it's in the draft or a trade of players, whatever it is, I think you can take advantage of a Buffalo or an Ottawa, one of these teams that was supposed to take the step this year and were somehow worse than the Flyers. The Flyers weren't losing on purpose, but they weren't exactly winning on purpose. I think you can take advantage of one of these teams that wants to make change for the sake of change.
Yep.
My pipe dream is Owen Power.
Okay.
I want this fucking guy. I think Buffalo.
He's real good.
He signed for a long time. They also traded for Bowen Byram. You already have Rasmus Dahlin signed for a long time. Now, yeah, you could just have an awesome defense. You got a lot of dudes you're going to need to pay over the next few years in Buffalo. You got a lot of needs. You have not made the playoffs since 2011. Maybe you just need a culture change. Maybe you need to change things up for the sake of it. Maybe you need a Scott Lawton to bring some culture and some leadership.
This is all linked, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Would you do like Lawton and Farabee?
Yeah.
I would, yeah.
Yeah, for like maybe our number one defenseman.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure, I would do that and 12. Like, sure.
Hague a third, maybe?
Yeah.
Hague and a third.
Hey, I don't know if I'm willing to part with Robert Hague.
With the third, not with a third.
Not the third. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
the
like
an
third.
that could be
Come on,
anything.
let's slow down.
Even a boat. Even Robert
but,
Hague.
Like it's more like you guys had, like you said, like a Zegras style guy. Like maybe it's Zegras, maybe it's someone in that category. That's how I feel about Owen Power. But he's the one I can, like, Buffalo is the team that I have targeted. And I think that if they have a wealth at this position and they need to supplement something else, well, let's take one of those guys. Owen Power.
I like it.
All right. I'm going to go off board because there's first off, there's no way this is going to happen. What's very funny about this
No way
guy.
any of this is going to happen.
What's
We're
very
gonna have the
funny
exact
about
same
this
team
guy
next year
is that this rumor started out because Ryan Whitney tweeted something randomly in like February.
Oh, this is going to be good.
That basically like, I've heard this team might be listening on him and I think it's stupid, but that's what I've heard. And the GM of the team has had to come out twice to say, this is bullshit. We are not trading him. All of these rumors are insane.
No, Witt is an insider. Though.
However, the Twitterverse continues to theorize about this player. It surprisingly is not a center or a defenseman. It's actually a winger. It is one Brady Tkachuk.
Brady Tkachuk!
Who is not going to get traded. I would be blown away if he did, but is real good. And he is so like the Flyers fans would eat him
I
up.
would buy a Brady Tkachuk jersey instantly.
Yeah. If Ottawa's going to do something real stupid, why not be the team that is the team that takes advantage of the stupidity?
What Danny does is he also gets a BlackBerry. And then he texts them.
He's the only other person with a BlackBerry.
Message. BlackBerry Messenger, is that what it's called?
BBM, yeah.
He BlackBerry messengers the staff at the Ottawa Senators. And he just, listen, you guys have BlackBerries. We have BlackBerries. We got some
Fun
stuff.
fact.
You got some stuff.
Fun fact about Brady Tkachuk, and I actually did a story on this years ago. When he was drafted and he had his custom suit at the draft, do you know what he had embroidered in the inside of the custom suit?
I love the Flyers.
Trust the process. He's a diehard Joel Embiid fan. Bring him home.
Oh my
Bring
God.
him
That
home.
honestly might be out on Brady now. No, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
No, Brady Tkachuk is very much the definition of like everyone's all about this guy, and I just have no idea why Ottawa.
Why would
want
they
to
even
get
think
rid of
about it?
him.
He's their captain.
But you know what? It's the Ottawa Senators. They're fucking operating on BlackBerry. Maybe they're just a dumb franchise.
Yeah.
There's lots of dumb franchises
I still
out
don't
there.
know if that tweet was real.
I just
Is
don't.
that real?
Well, as HC says, Tkachuk over Stützle. Okay, there is at least a dream world where Brady Tkachuk could be available. There is no way they are trading Tim Stützle. Like zero chance they trade Tim Stützle.
They can't.
No,
right?
That is not even a pipe dream. That is like I walked into a boom tube to send me to a different dimension.
So, Kelly, what was yours, Kelly? Did we talk about this?
So
yet?
mine involved like 17 different chess moves, but I will simplify it for the sake of the show.
Okay.
It's a little bit like Bills. You take advantage of the Toronto Maple Leafs being an absolute disaster and being obsessed with making change for the sake of change. You trade Travis Konechny for some assets, and you bring home better Travis Konechny. Mitchell J. Marner.
Oh, you're going with Mitch.
Okay.
Mitch.
See, that's what I thought your
Mitch.
trade edition was going to be, was Mitch Marner.
Okay.
But it's your
It could've
pipe
been.
dream.
Yeah.
No, it is a pipe dream. Yes,
it's
they're
not
not getting
They're
Mitch
not getting
Marner.
Mitch Marner.
They're not getting Mitch
They're
Marner.
not getting Mitch Marner because they're not signing Travis Konechny. Like
Yeah.
all these things are related. If you have
Yeah.
Travis Konechny, you're not getting Mitch Marner.
That's
So, first step one, admit that you don't need Travis Konechny anymore. Step two, take advantage of Toronto being full of dummies. Step 3, profit.
Step 3, profit. At least you have a step 2.
Yeah.
It's not just
important.
question mark.
No, I got it planned the fuck out.
It's important to have a step 2. It's also important to have a great pair of sunglasses this time of year, as I do, as I knock over a can. Luckily, that's empty. But I got to tell you about my favorite sunglass company, and it's Shady Rays, baby. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglass company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all outdoor adventures. And not just outdoor adventures, man. You know how polarized glasses, you're driving or something, you look at your nav screen, they can mess with your eyes. I'm reading off of a screen right now, my laptop, have the Shady Rays on, not messing with my eyes at all. And they have hundreds of options to choose from, so you're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style. Look, man, I got my green glasses on. I got a green motif today. It's absolutely perfect. And the thing I love best about Shady Rays, tangle-free. Absolutely no tangles when you put them on your head and then take them off. Say you go into Wawa to get yourself an Olipop or something. Boom. Problem solved. You're not messing with your hair. That's what I love about Shady Rays. And exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com and use code PHLY for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. And now, no shade to, I guess, these players we're going to talk about next. The final category on our wish list is who we don't want. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, I don't want a lot of guys on the current roster personally.
Exactly.
But we're going to, people out there who may or may not be available, stuff we've heard. Maybe you're just not all that in on. Let's start with Kelly Hinkle. Who do you not want?
I do not want Jakob Chychrun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't like him. I don't know. Okay.
I just don't like him.
I can't explain this. None of this makes any sense. None of it is based in statistics or playing style or attitude or anything. I get Ivan Provorov vibes from him. I can't really explain it. I just don't want him.
That's kind of mean.
No, I don't mean in the sense that he's a dickhead. I don't actually mean personality.
I mean heard he's a very nice boy.
He probably is.
Man,
I mean like Ivan Provorov was a giant disappointment that I expected to be very good. And I kind of get the vibe that Jakob Chychrun would just let everybody down if he came here.
That's Chychrun is mine as well.
Oh.
And
I did something.
It's a lot of the moves we talk about that get okay, we're going to have this guy, the Ristolainen, and we're going to re-sign Connect. It's you keep telling me we need this high-end talent.
Yeah. None of these are them.
Jakob Chychrun, like Charlie said, maybe he's Travis Sanheim. Travis Sanheim is a good hockey player. Where are the great hockey players going to fit if we have nothing but these second pair guys?
That's my big concern.
When are we going to get, we have to pay these dudes because they're very good. At a certain point, you run out of money in roster space. I just don't want that. I want someone better. And maybe that someone better never comes, but I want the opportunity. I want the possibility to one day fill that X I have in my notes app. We're okay, and this is going to be the lineup in 2026. And it's okay, well, that 1D spot's the X. I want that to be filled by an actual 1D. I don't think that's Jakob Chychrun.
My small insignificant one is I have this. I really don't want them to re-sign Erik Johnson, even if it's to sit in the press box. Something about them giving him a contract would bother me because he stinks.
I just don't understand why it can't be Victor Mete or Louis Belpino.
I don't know why either. And I for some reason, I feel like they're definitely going to give Erik Johnson.
It really seems that way.
And I don't want them to.
It
just seems like a dumb move. And I want to be able to continue to say that Danny Briere hasn't done anything actually stupid.
All right, Charlie. Who's the guy you don't want?
One guy, he's not a particularly well-known guy, but there has been some trade chatter around him. And he's somebody who, I could see the Flyers talking themselves into him. Mario Ferraro with San Jose Sharks.
Oh, yes.
Where he's this guy where he's youngish. He has really bad underlying metrics, but the argument is, well, he's on a bad team. You can't blame him for that. He's got size. He's got that he's got the kind of archetype that I could see the Flyers convincing themselves, we have Brad Shaw, we can fix him like we did Risto. Let's trade Risto and then use some of those assets to get Ferraro. I would rather not go that route.
I don't think it's
I'm not really sold on him as a player.
All right. I like that. I like that reasoning as well. I see we have some super chats. So rather than the Utah jersey stuff, I don't have the problem with the Utah jerseys
I
that
hate
everyone
everything
else
about
does.
it.
I think they're fine.
The saltine crackers of hockey organizations. They're so boring.
I like
Lightly
that shade of
salted
blue.
saltines.
I like that shade of blue.
It's nice, but it's like
I
get it
wanted the
done.
purple and green that the Jazz
I think
use.
it's boring. It's just
It's a
boring.
little
It's
boring.
just
Yes.
boring.
It was going to be boring without a logo no matter what, though.
You know what? In retrospect, and I was not a fan yet of hockey when this team was not created. I guess they moved. But in retrospect, and maybe this is just a 90s thing that teams were just a little bit more willing to take risks.
Oh, you mean have good jerseys?
The fact that the Avs went with purple, like props to you guys. Like that was freaking bold. And they owned it. And it was an awesome jersey. Like, I don't think the jersey now is as good as it was back then.
No, they fucked it up.
But back then
It was
cool. I mean, that was one of the reasons why I like the Avs. And now as an older person, I think the Red Wings have like the cleanest jersey in hockey, particularly the white one.
Yeah, it's real
But
good.
great.
one of the reasons why 11-year-old Charlie liked the Avs over the Red Wings was because I thought the Avs jerseys were cooler.
It was a great contrast of like old and new.
Yeah.
And I hate how they've made the font regular. They've taken the foot off, like all the cool parts of it. They've taken one of the coolest jerseys in hockey and made it bad.
Yes.
But
Good job,
I thought these
fellas.
Utah jerseys, like they're a single. Like they're not a home run, but I thought they were fine.
The colors are fine. They're just kind of
Non-playing
boring.
character hockey jersey.
I think it's like once they have a team name and a logo, maybe it'll be a little
Maybe it'll
different.
pop more.
Black pepper is too spicy for this hockey.
Yeah.
I know.
All right, before we
All right,
end,
let's get to the super
We do have
chats.
some super
Let's do it,
chats.
let's do it.
Yes.
I was going to say, let's not talk about Utah, and then we did anyway.
Oops.
But let's get to some of these super chats from Adam S. Is Charlie suspicious of Russ Cohen being Dr. Evil Gritty? He was awfully cold with a question I asked about him.
I would be shocked.
Russ is an adult man.
Yeah, Evil Gritty is absolutely someone between the age of like 20 and 30.
Without
I am
question.
certain because it's an extremely online person.
Yes.
Russ Cohen, good dude, talk to him a fair amount. He's not an extremely online person.
No, he's like a normal human man.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not.
I
Evil
would be
Gritty.
shocked.
Yeah.
It's very possible that like the reason why he was awfully cold when you asked him that question, Adam, is because he doesn't even really know who Evil Gritty is.
That
that's
actually
possible.
feels right. Yeah.
That's possible.
I think Dr. Evil Gritty is your roommate now.
That would be
Evil
very
Gritty is
funny.
I
moving
think
in.
that might actually be the answer. Okay, so Adam, thank you for the question. From Sherman M. 10 and 11 are up for grabs. I can see Danny work his magic, drafts 3 straight like Boston
That
in
would be
2015,
amazing.
but we wouldn't miss. Man, the fact that they haven't won like makes it good. That draft will never not be fun.
And would you like?
That tweet still gets me every day.
in this theory though, because like okay, let's
3 straight picks.
let's actually break this down. So the 10th overall pick is the Devils. The 11th overall pick are the Sabres. So you're probably figuring you get the 11th overall pick. You maybe make some sort of package with Lawton, and then you add in 32 because we're assuming Florida's going to win the cup, and then maybe that gets it done. Okay, I can get behind that as like that theoretically could happen. The way you're getting 10 from New Jersey is you're trading them Travis Konechny. Would you be able to deal with Travis Konechny like winning cups as a Devil?
Yes. I can't be hurt again. That's the thing.
There's no scenario in which I'm okay with the Devils winning another Stanley Cup. So, like, if Travis Konechny is there or not, I'm still going to be pissed off.
They ended the best player we're ever going to have in our organization in our lifetime's career here. And then after erasing a 3-1 deficit and then went on to win the Stanley Cup.
And single-handedly,
they can't hurt me any more than they already have.
They single-handedly ruin hockey for a decade.
Yeah. It's like they shoot you like, okay, I'm dead. And they shoot me again.
Shooting me? Okay,
I'm already
cool.
dead. I don't give a shit.
As Charlie said, they shouldn't even exist.
No, they shouldn't.
The worst
So-
franchise ever.
Yeah, I could deal with it. But like, would they even... What do they need Travis Konechny
I don't think
for?
that would be enough.
Well, I think, but the idea,
No, that's
in theory,
the only thing worth that pick.
it's the only
for
thing
them.
the Flyers have to trade that would be worth
Yeah.
10. So I don't know if they would even do it.
Would they like a Russian goaltender?
Well, they already have.
Everybody else has one.
They already have Timo Meier signed to the contract that the Flyers are probably going to give Konechny. I don't think they would want to give another Konechny type that contract.
No.
But like, he's the only guy who could theoretically be worth that pick.
The value, yeah.
And I mean, I have to think that the Flyers would never make that offer, even if they had decided that they're not re-signing Konechny, which again, I think they're going to re-sign Konechny. I don't think they would allow him to go to the Devils.
It would be surprising. That's why I'm targeting 11, 12, and 13, personally.
There you go.
All right, and what's the next?
Dylan Phillips.
Dylan Phillips. Give me Cole Hudson with pick 32.
I mean, I probably, in my final rankings, will have Cole Hudson somewhere around there, probably a little bit after 32, but somewhere around there. I do not think Cole Hudson is getting taken in the first round. Everything I've heard implies that he's going to slip to the second. Okay. So it might be, you might be able to get Cole Hudson with like the second of your plausibly 2 second-round picks. You might not even have to spend 32 on him. But like, in terms of pure value, I like him. Like, he's a cool upside swing on defense. Small, but really skilled. Like, I wouldn't be mad if they took him with 32.
Okay.
All right. And is that it on the Super Chats? Yes, that is all the Super Chats. So that is all the time we have for you on this F Around Friday. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for hanging out. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Follow us right here on YouTube. Set those reminders. Never miss a live show. Follow us on Twitter at PHLY_Flyers. Follow the podcast, PHLY Flyers. Make sure you're at the draft party.
Yeah.
Kelly had a conference call about it today. It's happening Friday, June 28th, 2 weeks from today. Join us at the Bet Parks Casino in South Philly. It's the Old Turf Club. Make sure you're there. It's going to be an awesome time. Thank you to our sponsors at Mortgage CS. We love you, Mortgage CS, and we're proud to be brought to you every single day by that concierge service in mortgages, Mortgage CS. All right, my name is Bill Matz. That's Charlie O'Connor. That is Kelly Hinkle. We'll see you next week. Philly, stay loose and sexy.
We all silly like the mayor.